Hi there, Simon from simonwoods.com here. Argentina. Now I did 2 Argentinian red wine videos about a month or so ago, and someone said to me, why don't you do one on Argentina's white wines, because there's some quite nice stuff around. I said, well, why not? So I am doing. I've got 4 wines, 2 Sauvignon Blancs, 1 Torrontés and 1 Semyon. First up, 2 Sauvignons. And I'll do this one first, Septima. Now Septima is a bodega set up by the Spanish group Codorniu, the people who make lots and lots of cava. This is their 2009 Sauvignon Blanc. They've been there maybe about 8-9 years, and yeah, they make red wines, but they make Sauvignon Blanc as well. Now it's 2009, so we're in January here, so it's coming up for its first birthday, and it's not it doesn't feel like it's going to be a really taut, butter clenching style of acidic Sauvignon Blanc. Not all that high in alcohol. I think it's about less than 12% alcohol, but it's not that crisp grassy edge. It's maybe a bit more nutty, maybe more Bordeaux style Sauvignon than Loire style. Yeah, that's about right. It's not brash and fruity. It's not crisp and over the top with those pungent pea, gooseberry, asparagus flavours. It's got this it's just got a nice friendly presence. It's never going to win any competitions. It's not an amazingly complex wine, but it's a nicely balanced, quite simple but honest wine. And yeah, reminds me of a bit of Bordeaux Sauvignon. Next one here, Tapiz, from the Valdai. Both of these are in Mendoza. The Septima, quite lowish vineyards in white wine terms, about 1,000 metres, 1,050. This one's 300 metres higher, so it should be fresher and crisper. The funny thing is though, that the alcohol here is actually 13.5%, so I think what it does at higher altitude means you can leave the grapes there to get that little bit riper, but because it's higher up you get reasonably cool nights, so you don't lose any acidity or freshness. Yeah, it smells like it's going to be a bigger, fuller, peachier wine, almost like Sauvignon for Chardonnay fans. In fact, I smell it and it reminds me of like southern Burgundies, things like Puy-Fuissé, Saint-Véran, stuff like that. Almost like got this slight rhubarb and apple crumble action going on. Nice wine, that. Take out of your mind images of those, the New Zealand Sauvignons, those slightly tart ones. This is fleshy wine. And because of that, it's a year older than the Septima, so it's a bit more mellow, a bit more relaxed into its bottle. I wouldn't want to leave it for too much longer, because I think if it relaxes any more, you'll just be left with that little bit of flabbiness and without anything to prop it up. But at the moment, it tastes pretty nice. As I say, feels like Sauvignon for Chardonnay drinkers. Boom! Wine number 3. Torrontés. Now, Torrontés is a great, in the way that Argentina has perhaps made its name with Malbec with red wines. Torrontés is what they're trying to hang the Argentinian white wine hat on. I'm not sure how successful they are. First of all, the grape variety, Torrontés. There's quite a few things in Spain that are called Torrontés, and no one's fully sure whether this is one or all of them, or is just a mutation of one of them. But what it does, it delivers. It's almost like a mini Gewürztraminer. It gives these quite exotic, slightly spicy flavours to a wine. But the problem is that a lot of the time it is overcropped. I'll flash up a picture of that I took in Cafayate, which is one of the main wine Torrontés growing regions for Argentina. It's quite northerly province. It's in the province of Salta. So you think further closer to the equator, it should be making sort of bigger, bolder wines, and certainly the red wines that they make there are very big and bold. But it's higher altitude, so again you get a little bit of a cooler presence. Having said that, this one is coming from This is from Mendoza, and for me, I have a feeling that some of the best Torrontés isn't going to come from Cafayate. I think it's going to come from some of the cooler places in Mendoza, like maybe where the Valdai where the Tapis was coming from. But will they risk planting a grape like Torrontés when they could make more commercially viable Sauvignon and Chardonnay? We shall see. Anyway, this one, I stick my nose in, and for me it's classic Torrontés. It's 2008 vintage. I think they were supposed to be sending me a 2009, and the fact that it's a 2008 vintage, you're almost seeing its deficiencies now. It's gone from being a very nice rounded grapey wine to somewhere where it's almost a bit over the top. A slightly oily Gewürztraminer type of character. Now, I like Gewürztraminer when it's done well, but this feels like it's just going to be a bit too jelly-like, you know, lime jelly. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had a lime jelly cube, but I can remember the taste. Yeah, there's a bit of the washing up liquid there, which I don't find very attractive at all. It's 2 years old. The freshness is fading. It would have been far better if it would gone on the 2009. But yeah, you're left with something rather stale, jelly-like, not very nice, with a hint of that bitterness. What they do to try and extract a bit more flavour is they'll leave the juice in contact with the skins for quite a while, as they would with making red wine. And it picks up some more flavours, but it also picks up some of these oily, bitter edges, and they're coming through just a bit too much. I think I'll rinse my glass before the final wine, which is Finca La Anita 2008 Semyon. Now, if Torrontés is a grape that flatters early and then falls apart, then Semyon's almost works the opposite way. I did a Semyon video a couple of weeks ago, and the best wines there was a 2005 and a 2002 from Australia, and they were both on the young side. Now this, like those two wines, is unoaked. It says sin Madeira, that means no oak. But it's quite a bigger wine. I mean, it's touching 15% alcohol here. I don't know if you can see from that colour that it's quite rich and golden in colour. Now I smell it, and there is this smell of bruised apples. It feels like it's going to be not a wine to keep for the long term, because it feels almost like it's on that verge of oxidation, but it's still got a really nice intriguing musky smell. Yeah, apples, pears, when you get that musky edge of pear skin. Yeah, that's baked apples with a little bit of raisin in there. And you've got this, Semyon has, it almost feels like it's got this slightly clay-like interior, a core on which other flavours are stuck. And I think that's one of the reasons why they often put a bit of Sauvignon in there, just to give it a little bit of zip and life. It's a funny wine, this, because I almost wish they'd picked it earlier, left it with a bit more freshness, because it feels like it's extra mature. It's the most expensive wine of this quartet, and it's certainly the most interesting, but whether I'd want to drink it is another matter. It's great to taste. But it's almost too much of a good thing to drink. Yeah, if I had something really like fish in a very rich, creamy sauce, lots of quite meaty fish, or maybe something like monkfish with lots of garlic and lots of cream with it. But really not sure about that one. I'm not sure also whether it's supposed to be that golden at this stage in its life. So it may be. It's certainly not cork, but it may be that it's one of those wines where the cork has just let a bit of oxygen in, and it's old before its time. But certainly intriguing. I don't think Argentinian whites are ever going to be as good as their reds. But I still don't think we've seen the best of Argentinian whites. Watch out in the next few years as people explore places further and further in the south of the country, and maybe have a go with a few more grape varieties as well. See you soon.